Good evening again to everyone. Good evening to online students also. Sit here. All right. So we are back in the second class. So we started our classes last week. So I think almost every online students also they came to the class. You also were there in the first class. I'm very happy you came for the second day also to see what's happening in the next class. Right. So it means that you are interested in the subject now. So very happy, right? Right. So you may remember one thing that I told when I'm introducing about myself. I told about my school. I told that my school is not very famous in Colombo, but it's a well famous school at Galle district. Do you remember my school? My school is nowadays, this after the results released, my school is now very famous. What? So biological science stream, the first place has come from Sangamita Balika Vidyalaya Galle. So my school is that. So I'm proudly saying that one. It's not my student, but still I'm really happy when it is coming to my school, especially the biological science one, the subject that I'm also teaching. So I'm so proud and happy about the results that little one has taken. So next time, I don't know whether it's from Colombo, whether it's from Galle, whatever it is, the results are actually coming from you guys, right? So among yourselves only, the best results are coming up. So that everyone, if you are trying, you can go for a good result, right? That's the reality, right? Okay. So let's try next time from our class. We'll try to get a good result, no? Isn't it? Hi. So I'll be starting the lesson today. Before that, I thought of going to discuss what are the lesson content that we have, because that day I forgot to discuss about the units that we have. So we have actually 10 units in our lessons, right? Hi, everyone. The lessons I will put on the board, the number of lessons that we have and what are the content in it. Hmm. Online students, don't know whether you receive my PDF or not. If not, they will upload it sooner. Don't worry about that. I'll be writing everything which is necessary for you guys. Right. So number one is Introduction to Biology. At the same time, I have given the number of periods allocated for each lesson. So that this is given only 5 periods. That means a very small lesson, no? Isn't it? So actually, if you think of the classes, you can cover it within 1 day also, right? Right? I'm not telling that I'll be finishing this one. It depend on the content that we will be discussing today. I'll check whether I can finish it or not today. Anyhow, it's a very simple lesson. If you think you can finish within 1 day also, right? Okay. Sampatya, good evening. Right. I was discussing about the lessons that we have. We have 10 lessons. On that second lesson is chemical and cellular basis of life. I think what are we learning in this lesson? Chemical and cellular basis of life regarding hormones. No, we are not learning about hormones in this lesson. We are mainly discussing about these things. Firstly, we have to discuss about the biomolecules, carbohydrates, then proteins, lipids, nucleic acids. Do you remember that we had these things in our O levels also? So you had biuret test, Benedict test, iodine test. All those are discussed in this lesson under practical side. And also we are learning about how these molecules are formed, what are the components it, and these structures of these biomolecules are discussed in this lesson. And then other than that, we will be discussing about mitosis and meiosis. Before that, we have to discuss about cellular structure. That means you are discussing about these prokaryotes and eukaryotes, that is there. And then the cellular organelles, those content we will be learning. And about enzymes also we have. And also we have to discuss about cellular respiration and photosynthesis. Okay, these are the lesson content. The second lesson I am telling that it's extremely important. That's like a heart, right? So if you can't do second lesson means you better find out another subject combination. Okay, that much of importance is there. So that you should have your emphasis more on the lesson. Meaning that you have to study well, you have to revise well, you have to do more questions from this lesson, right? Those things are there. Understood? So that much of important lesson. So that we will be also, I'm also helping a lot in this lesson so that you will be having a good basis on that. Okay? Alright, so remember very well to maintain the notes and records for this lesson properly so that you can improve yourself, right? Alright, I'm going to the third unit. Third unit, what do you think we have? Third unit, evolution and diversity of organisms. In that, what would be learning? What we will learn in that? Classification of organisms. Right. In that, as you said, we are learning about classification of organisms. Right? What else? Yes, how the evolution has occurred in organisms. Uh, initially there was no life on Earth. Thereafter, starting from one single cell, all this diversity is created. So that how that evolution process is happening, we are discussing one by one in this lesson, right? So you will understand more about these procedures, right? Other than that, we are discussing about diversity of animals, right? Not only animals, plants, and we are discussing about fungi and protists too, right? And we have to discuss about nomenclature. Have you heard about binomial nomenclature? That is also discussed in this lesson, right? So this is a kind of interesting lesson that you have to learn a lot about animals, plants, and fungi and the protists, right? So some of the stuff you know already, but here we are going for more details and we are learning it in advanced level format. Okay? Alright. So third unit is done. After that we have fourth unit. What is the fourth unit? Plant form and function. In the fourth unit, plant form and function. So how many periods are allocated for that one? 80 periods are allocated for that one. Fourth unit, plant form and function. So what are we learning about this lesson? About plants. What is about plants? We are learning about structure of the plant and functions of the plants. What are the functions? You know, photosynthesis is there. Photosynthesis is learned in second unit. We are learning more details about plant processes here. For example, you may be learning about xylem transduction and phloem translocation. Alright, those things are learned in this lesson. And also, did you learn about plant growth substances in all of us? Plant hormones, auxin, cytokinin, gibberellin. Those are uh, learned in this lesson. Understood? Right. Next one, we are learning about plant life cycles. Plant life cycles, which plants? Regarding, you know, Pogonatum, Nephrolepis, and flowering plants, cycas, all those plants, life cycles will be learned in a detailed manner in this lesson, right? So usually among students, this is not that very interesting lesson. Why? What's the reason for that? Why it's not much interested? You guys are not interested in plants, no? You're not planting trees, no? Am I correct? How many of you are planting trees? No, no one is planting trees, is it so? Huh? But you guys are so good at complaining, no? It's too hot nowadays. May we can't live without fans. We should have ACs, isn't it? So without complaining, what we should do? We have to plant trees, no? You know that it's a big issue nowadays, the deforestation, right? We'll be discussing in this lesson also. So that what you should do is you have to plant more trees and you can at least like miniature scale you can help, no? Right? So today onward, the bio people should plant at least one tree. Okay, you have to come and tell me the progress, right? Okay. Hari. So the first reason why you don't like plant form and function is you are not much familiar with the plant. You are not going to the environment. You know, it's very unfortunate when I ask from some children, they are telling they are living in flats. They don't have space. Garden space is not available. But I think luckily you guys may be having at least a small garden. But the Colombo area, majority of children are coming from these flats and all that. They don't have a garden even, right? So that's a problematic thing, eating. Right, okay. So anyhow, that is one reason why you don't like this one. And the other reason is most of the times the teacher doesn't know how to explain this lesson properly, right? So if the teacher doesn't know how to explain this one properly, meaning that you're also not interested much in this lesson, just skipping and going. So after that, you don't know what happened in the lesson. You don't know how to do the lesson properly. So you are thinking that this lesson is hard and all. You are just ignoring it and going. So that it's not like that. In my lessons, I am doing this lesson really well because my specialized area is also towards plants. So that I will be doing this lesson in a particular manner that you can understand from the really very beginning, so that it won't be a problem for you all, right? So that I will guarantee that it won't be a problem for my children, right? Okay. So the next one is animal form and function. Okay. What is that lesson? Animal form and function? Yeah. Animal form and function. We are learning about our systems. What are the systems that we are going to learn in this lesson? Digestive system. Yes. Respiratory system. What else? Nervous system. Reproductive system. What else? Circulatory system, and system, endocrine system, nervous system, isn't it? What else? Muscular system, that is not discussed in this lesson as a separate lesson, but under tissues we are discussing about muscular system. Right. Did we miss anything? Digestive, respiratory, immunity system, and system. Did we write that one? No, ne? Right. So these are the systems that we are learning in this lesson. How many periods are allocated for that lesson? 195 periods. That means compared to the other lessons, you should understand that this is having more number of periods, isn't it? So that you should understand that the syllabus content, syllabus covering and all that, it will take more time to cover this content. But remember very well, these lessons are easy. Compared to the plan, form and function, unit 2, this lesson is bit easy. The reason why, you have done certain parts of the lesson in your O levels. For example, you know the structure of the human heart, human ear, human eye, many things you know about these lessons, so that it's easy to go with these lessons when you come to a certain level, right? You are learning it after some time now, so that at that time you will be also like advanced than this one. So it will be easy to go with you guys. You know that some teachers are taking the advantage of this lesson. They are thinking that this is the only lesson that they have, and they are taking the major emphasis on this lesson, and they are elaborating the lesson. They are expanding the lesson than usual, right? And also for the popularity and all that, sometimes they start with the very famous system. What do you think they will start? No, reproductive system, right? They are taking the advantage of it, and they sometimes maybe taking children out of the other subject combinations also towards the lesson, and they are using different systematics to keep the students in the class using that lesson. So I'm not like that. Don't expect like that. There is also just one lesson for me, so we will be doing like that. Okay. So these systems, what is the importance of learning about these systems to us? Hmm? Is it important to learn? What do you think? Why it is important to learn about these systems? It's about us. Yeah. So let's say someone is coming to your home and asking, where is your kidneys located? Right? Someone is telling that somewhere there is a pain. Right? That person is thinking that it's a kidney pain. So you know that where the kidney is. He is touching some place and telling that my kidney is paining. So if you know something, you can tell at least it's not your kidney is paining, isn't it? So that some knowledge is there. You can tell something about things that you know, but don't give medicine to people. Okay, so you are not yet doctors. So that other than giving medicine, you can give some advice related to these systems, because we are learning about lot of diseases, disorders associated with each system. For example, it may be, uh, effects of smoking. So if you see some person is smoking, that you can give some advice not to smoke, these things would happen. Ultimately, you will die because of this reason, right? Isn't it? So those things can be done, okay? All right. Other than that, like some mental disorders are there, so like you can give some advice. If you also have, you can tell about people, I have this thing and all that. Okay, so those things can be done. Hari. Then immunity system. What's the importance of immunity system? Yeah, it protects the body from diseases. So let's say you are getting some particular disease, you can say how it has occurred. Let's say an allergy, how it is happening. Allergies. Yeah, it's because of some antigen which is coming from outside. It may be a dust particle, it may be some vapor, mist, right? So that is creating allergies on you. So that inside the body there's a particular mechanism is generated to identify these molecules, right? That's why for the second time also you are allergic to this dust. Particular allergen is that, okay? So that is also related to immune system, right? So you can know more things when we are doing that lesson. But just for the moment, remember that every system is important. You have a lot to learn about them and we can do something with that, okay? Hi. Right. What's the next lesson? Sixth unit, genetics, right. You know what? Some teachers are telling that they are telling that only up to fifth lesson is enough. Do you agree? For the lessons, for the exam paper, majority of questions are coming from unit 1 to unit 5, especially unit 2 to 5. One is there's nothing much. So unit 2 to 5. So I agree halfway with that particular teacher that it's, yes, having this much of questions. But if you want just C pass, just B pass, that will be enough, no? But let's say if you want to go to a super A, good day, that won't be enough. That means you have to do all 10 lessons. You have to put effort on all 10 lessons to get good mark, right? Other lessons also important. The questions are coming from those lessons. But the thing is frequency is low. So that major emphasis should be there for the lessons. Unit 6, about 6 also can be included. 6 about 6 before lessons. We have to study well. Okay. And most of the times they are trying to highlight that fact, the reason why they are not covering the syllabus. I told you, they are elaborating the fifth unit so that they are waiting for one lesson to cover and they are not completing the syllabus. They are ending up with fifth unit or sixth unit, right? Children also don't know much, so that they think that once the teacher told that these lessons are the ones which are coming, the children are also studying those. So I'm promising you that I'll be covering all the lessons. I have done it several times in the past years so that you don't have to worry about the covering of the syllabus, right? So I'll be covering everything and I will be doing questions from every lesson, right? So you guys have to study well. That's the part that come from you, okay? Hari. So the genetics lesson, what are we learning in the genetics lesson? About genes. Yeah, how these genes are inherited. You know about Mendel's experiments? Those things we will be discussing here. Mendel's experiments with pea plants. And we will be discussing about probability calculations. This is an interesting part in this lesson. In this one, what we are doing is we are doing certain calculations regarding Mendel's experiments and non-Mendelian patterns also. So that this is something related to mathematics, so that we have to do calculations. This is the only part where you have calculations in your biology lessons, right? So that part is there. Other than that, we have to talk about breeding techniques. Animal breeding, plant breeding techniques, the advantages, disadvantages, what are the methods that we follow. For example, if you want to make a rice variety which is resistant to a particular disease, let's say a wild variety of rice is having that particular gene. You are crossing between two plants and you're trying to generate a new variety which is having the feature that we want. That is something like that we are doing in the breeding. So that this is having several methods. You will understand more when we are doing the lesson. Understood? Hi. Then those things will be discussed in genetics. What comes in the 7th unit, children? Okay, molecular biology and recombinant DNA technology. What is being done in that one? Molecular biology means regarding DNA and RNA, we are learning a lot here, right? So, DNA structure and how the DNA replication copies are formed, right? What else? We are learning about protein synthesis procedure, okay? How the protein synthesis would occur. Other than that, what else we are learning? Anything else? Yes. In that mainly we are discussing about our genetic code, how these things are occurred and how these are going to the next generations, right? Those things mainly discussed, right? Genetic code, you will understand what they are. I'm not going to explain now. You will not understand if I say anything about this one, right? Other than that, mutations, we are learning mutations in the chromosomes, nucleotides, those things will be learned here. And we have the special part, the recombinant DNA technology. That day I told you that how the human insulin production, we are cutting one gene from human and we are pasting it to a bacterium. The bacterium is the one which is going to produce human insulin protein. So that's the recombinant DNA technology. Basically, it's cutting and pasting and manipulating the genes in the way we want. So we can get the products what we like. Not an easy process, even though we can think like we can't cut it from a scissor and paste it, right? So it's the sophisticated method should be used. Sometimes it may be okay. Sometimes it may go wrong also, right? So those things are there. So recombinant DNA technology. Understood? Right. So we are done with the 7th unit also. So what is being learned in the 8th unit? Environmental biology. What do you think? What do we learn in environmental biology? About environment. What are we learning about environment? About ecosystems around us and different structures in the ecosystems, what are the animals present in each ecosystem, what are the plants present in each ecosystem, and what are the human influences to each ecosystem. You know what, nowadays humans are influencing almost every ecosystem. So many problems are created by human, right? So that is a big problem now. Those things we will be learning here. And about this red data book, you know about red data book, right? Having the animals which are having concern levels, that means near threatened, extincted in the wild, about to extinct. Those things are there in the red data book. We are learning about those things also here. And also we are learning about those, you know, invasive plants. Have you heard about invasive plants? Salvinia, yes, those, what is it called? Gandapan and all that, those also invasive plants, invasive animal species also there. So those are usually like accidental introductions, maybe purposely introduced also, but they have now outgrown, they are now like dominating. and they are not allowing other species to grow. So that's the problematic. Salvinia is a big problem nowadays in those reservoirs, right? Some reservoirs, they have to purposely remove them, right? That's a big problem. So those things are learned, and environmental policies, laws, and what are the international treaties regarding the environment. There are several protocols and all are there now. Vienna Protocol and these, like Montreal Protocol. So many things are there that the worldwide that the countries have got together, and they are now uh, having certain agreements to protect the environment, right? For example, there is a one that is to protect the ozone layer depletion, and there's another one to protect, like it's having some agreement to prevent bringing the waste matter, hazardous matter from one country to another, right? So if they bought like that, that will be problematic. So they are having laws and regulations to prevent these things, right? So these agreements are mostly like they are having no laws and all. They are just country wise, they are having particular agreement. Like one country brings hazardous waste to the other country, so that other country is in a problem. It, right? So that those things are there. But like to our country, everybody brings stuff, no? Very recently what happened? Someone very famous person who bought all the hospital waste matter to Sri Lanka. Do you remember? They found from the custom. Very famous person. I don't say names because it's recorded. That person bought hazardous waste matter in containers to Sri Lanka. Don't know what permission, who gave permission for that one, right? Are you listening to news? That's a very famous story at that time. Hurry. Environment biology done. And then what is unit number 9? Unit number 9, what are we learning? Microbiology. In microbiology, we are learning about different types of microorganisms such as viruses, bacteria, what is cyanobacteria, protozoans, fungi, anything else? Some other ones also there. I'll not mention the names. They will be coming in the lessons, right? Hurry. In this, we are learning about these organisms more, their structure and their functions, those things. And also we are discussing about the processes that are done by them. What are the industries that they are used? What are the industries that microorganisms are used? Yogurt, dairy products, coir industry, nitrogen fixation. That is not an industry exactly. Like there are so many other industries, alcoholic beverages, and what else? Tofu production, some food production, gene technology, the vaccine production, antibiotic production. So many uses are there, no? Understood? Hurry. So in this lesson, we are learning why we are using microorganisms. You know what? Other than using industrial processes, using microorganisms are cheaper, right? They don't need much food. They don't need much electricity. They don't need much maintenance, right? So that the industry wise, it's very advantage using microorganisms, right? So that we are discussing about the advantages of using microorganisms in the industry. And then we'll be discussing about sterilization methods. What is meant by sterilization? In certain cases, we will need those, like if we are going to a hospital theater doing operations and all that, what will happen if the microorganisms are there? Abute, what will happen? You will get diseases, no? So sometimes it may be like very fatal. So that you have to remove them prior to the surgery. So that sometimes hospital rooms are sterilized with UV radiation, and hospital mattresses are sterilized in a different way. Syringes, needles, those all are sterilized in autoclave. Those things are done. Okay, so those things we will be learning in our lesson. how it's been done, so that you are getting some advanced knowledge about laboratory management also, right? Hari. Then we are going to our last lesson, 10th unit. What is it? Applied biology. How many periods are allocated? Sorry? 25. So that compared to the other lesson, it's a small lesson, no? I would say that this is a miscellaneous lesson. This miscellaneous lesson is not having a particular area, having like a mixture of things from everywhere. This is having about aquaculture, about fishes, right? And we have about tissue culture. More technology stuff are there. About dengue and filaria. And we have about asexual propagation methods of plants, plant nursery management, okay? You know about greenhouses, no? Those things are there, okay? Understood? Now we are going to the lesson. So you were waiting for the lesson, no? Come into the class, Miss didn't start the lesson, isn't it? Right. So what is our first lesson? Introduction to biology. Hi. So in this lesson, we are learning the meaning of biology term. What do you think? What's the meaning of biology? Bio and logy, two different terms. Bio means about life. Logy means study. So what is biology then? Study about life. So would you like to study about life? Life means including all organisms, no? It may be plants, it may be animals, it may be fungi, protists. Likewise, many animals are included into this one. Even microorganisms also included into this one, right? So, is the life important? How much? Can't say, no? Yeah, we can't like tell this much of important. But nowadays, you have seen like some children are suiciding. Is it so? Why is that? Sometimes if you find about the reason, it may be very foolish reason that they are suiciding, no? Why is that? Why the children are doing that? They don't understand the value of life, no, isn't it? So the life is meaningful, life is valuable. Some children don't understand the meaning of it. That's the reason, right? Actually, the thing is, what I observed in your generation is mostly like spoon feed people. Someone should come behind you to tell certain things, so that when you're kept alone, you don't know much how to behave, right? I agree. Not everyone, right? So this is some telling commonly, right? So when it comes to a problem or like some stress situation, the students or the children can't manage it. That's the reason why mostly they are not having a chance to sort the problem. They are not sitting at one place and thinking what should we do next and thinking about the instant thingy, and they are taking a decision also sooner and finally end up with certain things. You know, like several cases are recorded in school histories also, cutting with blades and suicidal attempts. Sometimes it may be suicide also, right? So many things are there. So what do you think? As biology students, you know, like life is important, right? So you should not do anything as such when it comes to certain decisions like that. You can talk to people, no? Always, if you have something like that, you can talk to us, you can talk to your parents, everyone is there. Sometimes, you know, like let it pass, like like with time some problems are sorted, no? Sometimes certain things are happening to us also, some stressful situations, some like peer pressure and all that, certain things are coming, like bullying, and those cases are very common nowadays. It's not only love affairs and all that, sometimes in between, like the schoolmates also, certain problems are happening. You may have experienced these things during your school time, no? So that sometimes, like these children, sometimes you will meet only for certain limited time period, right? So why are you wasting your life for that? Okay, right. So that is little bit extra knowledge. Hurry. Now we are going to our lesson. Right, everyone, those who came today, this is our resource book. Resource book, everyone should have the resource book with you. Today, if you don't have, that's fine, you can continue. I'm having the book now. Right, so usually this is how we are going in our class. We are using the resource book and we are having lot of questions. Finally, you are going to write the exam paper. So that questions are the extremely important thing. So that we are focusing mainly on questions while doing the lesson. And also, if the lesson content which is there in this one is not enough, I'll be giving the note in this areas. And also, if the lesson is much important, more emphasis should be done, we will be writing the notes. So those places I will tell time to time what should be done. Okay? Hurry. So the first lesson, we have to discuss about the issues pertaining in biology. What are the issues related to biology? That's the first part we have to discuss here. Right. So, it's talking about the evolution of Earth and evolution of life on Earth. Evolution of Earth. How long before the Earth is evolved? 4.5 billion years ago. How do you know exactly? One was there. From the inside, certain things are there in the universe. You can take the evidence for that, right? So there are so many theories about evolution of Earth. What's the most accepted current theory? Big Bang theory. Hard. Big Bang theory, what has happened is universe has started to expand from one single point. Expanding and expanding. Finally, there was a huge explosion. After that, the dust clouds, dust particles started to cool down. So that from the cooled condensed masses, the solar systems and the Earth and other planets were evolved. That's how we believe. But we don't know biology. Certain things are changing. Sometimes in 10 years' time, some scientists might come and explain this is not the way that it has happened. This is the correct way. We don't know. So far, with the proven evidence or like whatever the available evidence, we know this is what occurred here. Understood? Right. So at that time, what kind of earth was there? Too hot, yeah. Too hot. It's like a barren land, and so many deserts, craters, all are there. It's not having an atmosphere. All these meteors are coming and hitting the earth without a protection. Uh, no oxygen, little or no oxygen, and no water. Was it habitable for living organisms? No, it was not having a suitable environment for the organisms. Understood? Hari. So, after 3.5 billion years ago, what happened? Hmm? What happened? Life arose on Earth. Okay. Right. If the online students can't see this side of the board, you let me know. I hope that you can see. Right. Life arose on the Earth. So what kind of organism is created first, Pute? Yes, it's a prokaryote. What is meant by prokaryote? No organized nucleus. So early organism was a prokaryotic organism as well as anaerobic because there was no oxygen at that time. So that early organism is like that. This early formed organism got certain ability which we call it as they are having genetic material. This genetic material got self-replication ability by itself making copies. What's the importance of making copies? When they divide, they can give one copy to the new one. This made life possible on this much of diversity. We all are here because of that ability. Since they can copy, they can give the information to the new genetic material. Maybe RNA, maybe DNA. Then it's given to the new cell. Since it's given to the new cell can give the information of the previous cell. Likewise, until now, several modifications and all that occur in order to give the life on Earth. Understood now? Hi. We are now going to the two questions which are there in the tube. The first two questions, can you all start with? Write the answers for the first two questions. Online student, can I know whether you received the PDF or not? Could they turn on the fans if the AC is not turned on? Check whether the AC is turned on. It's not, right? That finish? Right. What is the answer for the first question? Asking about how long before the Earth is evolved. It's before 4.5 billion years ago. Second question, how long before the life arose on Earth? 3.5 billion years ago. Hi. You guys have to excuse me for a while. I'll check whether the PDF can be uploaded for the online students. Give me a minute, okay? Right. Online students will get the PDF in a while. It will be uploaded. Wait a little, right? Hurry. We are going to the next section. Right. So reading what is given there here, it says that scientists assume based on their studies that there are about 10 million to over 100 million species in the world. Why the assume word is given here? Yeah, they have not found out the species among the some species yet. You know, for example, if you go to Amazon forest, if you go on a trip, you may find some species which have already not identified. So in future, as biologists, what should we do? You have to find them and you can name them also, yeah? That day also I told, eh? Did I tell you? Some animal species are named after people. You know about it, right? Recently there was some, those lizards were named after certain people in Sri Lanka. You don't know? Find about it, right? And certain frogs are given Sri Lankan people's name. And certain fishes also. Okay, you find out what are the names that they have given. Even if you find, you can put your name also, so that find more as biologists in future, right? Hurry. There is a dynamic relationship between living world and inanimate world, and each and every organism has a specific role in the environment for the existence of biosphere. Is it true, children? Are they all having a function role related to maintain the biodiversity? Hmm? Let's say you feel like this particular organism is not necessary to the earth, you should finish this off. I have a feeling about cockroaches, so I should think that I'm thinking that we should finish all the cockroaches from earth. What will happen? What will happen? Removal of one particular organism is unbalancing the nature. Every and each individual organism is doing some service to the earth. Sometimes you may feel they are not doing any service, they are just staying at our cupboards and all that, but still they are having roles, right? So these roles will not be done once you finish them, once you eradicate them from the environment. But still, you have to understand that it will be unbalancing. Their role will not be done by the other organisms, right? Understood now? So that is, those things are discussed here. And it is telling about these things also, the variety of life on earth, the number of species of plants, animals and microorganisms, the diversity of genes in these species, different ecosystems on the earth such as deserts, rainforests and coral reefs are part of a biological diversity on earth. That means biological diversity is having certain components. The biggest component is, you know, ecosystem diversity. You know, in world that we are having different ecosystem, forest ecosystem, or else it may be home garden is also one ecosystem, right? Big versions also there. There's those rainforest, dry monsoon forest, or else it may be tundra, taiga, those are there, right? So those are ecosystems found in the world in larger scale. Deserts is one ecosystem and savanna is one ecosystem. Likewise, so many ecosystems are there. So that regarding biodiversity, this is also one component. The other component is uh, species diversity. Human one species, and other animal species are also there, microorganism species are also there, all are included into biodiversity. And then genetics diversity. What is meant by that? Among us also there are differences. I am different from you. Neither, isn't it? Your Shalini, no? Shalini is different from myself. Shalini is having different features. It's because Shalini's genes are different from myself. But if we take all of us together, we are belong to human species. Human species is different from, let's say, some plant species. Though we are having differences, right? So diversity means having differences among all. Us also having difference, genetic diversity. Among the species also having difference, so many species are there. And from one ecosystem to another, it's different. Rainforest, tropical rainforest is different from a desert ecosystem, no? The rainforest is having, like, climate is very soothing climate is there, every day is raining and the trees are present. But desert, it's very hot, warm, and less number of trees are there, less animals are there. Condition is rather different, no? So that these all are important. Every part of the biodiversity is important. What will happen if all the sides are look alike, we all are same like robots? Would you like? No, there's no interest, right? So since the biological diversity is there, so many things are there. Some people are coming to Sri Lanka because Sri Lanka is biodiversity is rich. So that they're coming and observing the things which are there in the environment. Understood? Right? Got it? Hi. Now we are going to the issues related with biodiversity. So many problems have arisen because of the human activities. You know it, right? I told that humans have influenced almost every habitat on earth. So many problems are there. What do you think? Let's make a list of problems that are created by humans. Right. Tell me number one. Nowadays we are facing global warming and climate change. Number two, climate change. You know what? Because of climate change, the issues nowadays we are also facing. You remember the last few days were very hot. Now it's raining a lot. The raining patterns have changed. Rainy days have changed. And sometimes plant breeding times also change. Now this flowering season is completely different. Okay. So those things are there. Some animals migrate during winter season to other countries. That time periods also have changed now because of global warming, right? So they are not much coming to our countries also nowadays because the upper parts also, this equators are also hot nowadays. Okay. Harada. Then number three, what can we take? Environmental pollution. Environmental pollution is a huge problem nowadays, no? Isn't it? This includes the water pollution, land pollution, and everything is there included into this one. Number four, ozone layer depletion. Number five, acid rains. And number six, eutrophication. Okay, I'm not putting it to major problems, right? Then what about deforestation? What else? Desertification. Number eight. That is number 8. What has happened to our elephants in Sri Lanka? People are telling that elephant is coming to our places. No, is it actually their places? The elephant places people have taken and they are building houses. No, so the elephant is coming to their usual place, but they are telling that elephant have come to our villages and destroying our things. No, so nothing to do. So that they have faced with habitat loss and habitat fragmentation. Their habitats are here and there. Everywhere that there are houses, they have to go through the houses to go to the next place, isn't it? Yes. Correct. Habitat loss and habitat fragmentation is there. What are the other problems? Tell me. Other problems? Extinction is also one problem, but we can't consider it as an environmental issue. You know, nowadays our municipal council people, some days they are not coming and taking the garbage, right? Waste disposal is also a bigger problem nowadays, no? So that also I am including. Hmm? Human population growth, that's become problematic now, no? What's the population now? Hmm? About 8.5 billion, no? So that huge increment is there. So that it's in future it may be a bigger problem if we are not going into solutions, right? Because only one earth is there to share, no? So if we are not using it properly, if the number of people increasing day by day, the resources are limited. Finally, we don't have another planet to go. We will die in the same place, no? Sometimes human population may go extinct, right? Isn't it? Hurry. Anything else missed? Global warming done. Yeah. Biodiversity loss. I didn't tell about that thing, no? 11 is biodiversity loss. Loss of biodiversity, let's say. Hurry. Shall we write them? Yeah, that day only 4 girls or 5 girls were there. I remember like five. Two boys were there. Only two. Four only, ne? Only your own, eh? There's no other own. Your name I couldn't ask also. Ishara. Your mom only called me, no? Are you living close by? Are you living close by? Right. Study this now itself, everyone. Right. Are you done? Right. So, mm it's telling about this one also. This part I didn't read to you all. Understanding the human body and its function, the importance, right? I told that in previous section also. If you are learning about the systems in the body, you can help the others also, right? The disorders, diseases associated with this one, you can tell about what you know. But make sure, as I'm telling again, don't go and give medicine, okay? Hurry. It says that when studying biology, especially by students, histology and anatomy. What is meant by histology? Histology is studying about tissues, right? Studying about tissues. If you don't know, write it down, right? Anatomy. What is meant by anatomy? Anatomy is the structure. Yeah. Okay. Right. And it says that anatomy of the human body, one can gain the knowledge about the structure of the organs. This results understanding and appreciation of the organization of human body and understanding the functions of different organ systems and the relationship between the structure and function. So you guys are having more knowledge during this A-level lessons about these systems, and you are going to appreciate about the function also. Like you will be happy what's the function done by your skeletal system. It's giving strength to you, it's giving shape to you. So many functions are there, so finally you will feel happy that I should be thankful, this is helping us, isn't it? Right. So right, so that issues are done. So you understood what are the issues. So you should understand that man has occurred lot of problems on earth, no? So why are these issues are taught to you guys? One thing is that. And the other thing is you are the ones who are awareing people about these things, and you are the ones who are finding solutions for these things as biologists in future, no? Isn't it? Right. So that is much more important. Right. Before I go into sustainable food production, there's one little thing I have missed to do. So I will be discussing about the primary branches of biology and the other branches of biology before I move into the next section. And microbiology. Study about animals. What is botany? Study about plants. So I'm writing that one. You have a writing book, no? Hurry. Write this down. Then what is microbiology? Study about microorganisms, no? But yeah, these are the primary branches of biology. If you want, you can write a topic, but it's not a must, you know. This won't be asking question. Nobody would ask what are the three primary branches of biology. But I have seen some school papers, you know, when they don't have questions, they will sometimes put this also, right? But do not expect this in your main exam paper. No one would ask what are the three main branches of branches of biology. Can I respond? Hmm. Right. So under these sections, we are learning about some other branches of biology. So actually, these all are coming under your lessons, right? The first branch they have given is cell biology. That day we discuss about cell biologist also, right? Nowadays, now actually these are not new things for you guys, isn't it? These cell biologists, what they are doing is they are studying about cells. So cell biology is about studying cells. Right. Then the second one is histology. Histology, I told in a while before. What is it? Study about tissues. All right. Write with me so that we can finish. Then anatomy. Study about the structure. We are learning about plant anatomy and animal anatomy both in our lessons. You know, in the university, if you go to medical faculty, you have a separate subject called anatomy and you have a separate subject called physiology. Okay. So, study about structure. Hari. Then we have to discuss physiology. What is meant by physiology? Study about functions, right? Body functions. Give me an example. If you are learning about photosynthesis, that is a physiological process happening in our body. Digestion, it's a physiological process happening in our body. In our lessons, we are discussing how the blood circulation happening, how the exchange of gases happening. Those all are physiological processes, right? Okay. And how breathing is happening. Those things also discussed under. Then biochemistry. What is it? Biochemistry? Studying about biomolecules. What are biomolecules? Proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acid, those all are biochemistry, right? Biological molecules. If you want, write the examples also. Carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids. The next one is genetics. Study about genes and how they inherit, right? So mainly about inheritance. The last one is ecology. Ecology study about what? Environment. What's your name again? Rashida, your name? Nishani. Lishara, okay. Right. Did you go to the other classes also? Chemistry? All okay. What did you learn in chemistry? Structure of atoms. Okay, good, good, good. Who found out about the structure of atoms? Who found out about the structure of atoms? Scientist. Who is a scientist? If you learn about the structure of the atom, you should know that who is the person who introduced about the structure of the atom? Who is that? Did you learn about Rutherford? Mm. Structure of atom, not an atom, not about atom you learn. Okay, okay. Okay, right. So what I was about to tell is tell about the classes to the other children also, right? So there is a good combined maths teacher, Mr. Sudhira Piris. You know about him now. He's the owner of the class, and he's really exceptionally good in studies and teaching process. And Ms. Shanika ITL is there for chemistry. You know your teacher now. And then Mr. Geethan, your physics teacher, he's also really good. I saw that he is teaching nicely to you guys with nice diagrams, no? Isn't it? And only 3 subjects. Now you are doing? Hmm. No English, no? English, you are not coming to classes, no? So is doing English medium, no? No use of having English classes, right? All right. And tell about the other classes also to everyone, okay? All right. So telling about myself, if you want to know about my results also, I have posted my results. So I have 2 children who are entering to who are eligible to enter into medical faculty. One is from Kaltara district. Kaltara district 100th place. 100 means that they can go to university from Kaltara district, and the other result 139 or something. Wait, let me tell you properly. Yeah, she is island rank 532, district rank 139, right? So these many students are having B passes. It's because biology marking is bit strict, right? So it doesn't mean that they don't have good marks, right? Don't expect A's, but still they have good scores and they are eligible to medical faculty because bio is also good, right? So other students also have passed with good B passes and C passes, so that they are in exceptionally good level, right? So that you also have to go for those levels, and also even more than that, I want an island rank 1, 2, or 3 next time from your batch. Okay, will you be? Can take no? Right. Okay. Take one for me. Let's see. Right. Are you done writing? All right. Then I'm going to the next issue. Shall we take a little interval and go to the next issue, or are we doing it and going? Doing it. Okay. Right. So now going to the big problem nowadays, food production. Sustainable food production we are going to talk about, right? Right. What is meant by sustainable food production, children? First of all, tell me this part, what is meant by sustainable? What is the meaning of sustainable? Do you have any idea? Have you heard before? Right. So it's mostly comes with sustainable development goals. This meaning that we have to use the resources at present. And also we have to make sure that it's available for the future generation also. For example, let's say we have Singaraja forest now. They telling that it's the biodiversity rich forest, right? So thinking that it's a very important one, we are conserving it and we are just leaving it alone without touching it even, thinking that we should keep it for the future generation. Is it the sustainable development? No. We are using the resources of it. You are taking the advantages of the forest. Meanwhile, you are keeping it for the future also. That means overconsumption should not be done. You have to improve the flora and fauna in the particular jungle. Likewise, certain things should be done. So, sustainable food production, what do you mean by that? You are using food nowadays, but we are trying to find out methods to give food to everybody in future. You know, like now for the present, the population is 8.5 billion. In future, it may be 9 or 9.5 billion. So that all have to share one single earth, I told, right? So that you should think about the way to produce food for them as well. So what kind of things can be done? Hmm? We can produce high yielding varieties, high yielding animals and plants. For example, high yielding rice variety, which is having more yield than before, 50% high yield. It will be good, no? Isn't it? Have you been to Ambevela? Ambevela cows are different from our cows. What's the difference? They are more bigger, no? Isn't it? So they have improved them. Their milk production is higher than our usual cows. That's why they are being imported here, right? So that is also another thing. Developing animal varieties which will give more yield, more production, so that in future it will be useful, right? And you can develop crop varieties which are resistant to harsh environmental conditions. I told that they also, because of human activities, some available land for agriculture is reducing little by little, isn't it? So that sometimes because of desertification, some land may be becoming unuseful. You know, desertification, salinization, because of evaporation of water. So those lands cannot use for normal crop cultivation. But if you can develop a variety of crop which is resistant to drought, which is resistant to salt conditions, you can get the use of them, no? Isn't it? Even in that environment, you can use and produce food. Okay, isn't it? Alright. So the first two I'll be writing here, then the third one I'll explain later. Number one, production of high yielding varieties of plants and animals. And production of high yielding varieties of plants and animals. Number two, which is production of disease resistant varieties of plants and animals. What is the meaning of that? Because of that, before the harvest, these all plants will die. So that finally no gain. So that if you are able to produce a plant variety, this is resistant to particular disease, that will give yield without dying, isn't it? So that it, like from farmer's side, it's worthy, no, isn't it? Right. So that is there. Then number three. What is number three? Improve the post-harvest technological methods. I'll tell you what it is, right? Meaning of that post-harvest technological methods. Have you heard about the term before, or is it for the first time you are listening to this one? Hmm? First time? First time? First time? First time? First time, no? Hi. Listen carefully, right? You're going to grow tomatoes, let's say. You're going to grow tomatoes in Anuradhapura, okay? I'm just telling. I don't know whether the Anuradhapura is feasible. So at Anuradhapura, you're growing tomatoes, you're cultivating the harvest, and you're going to bring it to one of the supermarkets here in Colombo, right? You're just taking gunny bags, you're putting them inside, you're packing them tightly, and you're putting them in the landmaster, and you're going to come to Colombo. What will happen? Yeah, crushed and damaged. Sometimes maybe insects and pathogens will damage. From the sunlight it will damage. Because of the packaging it will damage, isn't it? So many things can occur during the time of from the time of harvest until it reaches to the supermarket, right? So that what we should do, we have to do certain practices to save our commodity, because that we are spending some money on growing this one, right? So if by the time it reaches to the supermarket, if half of the production is lost, so you are at a loss now, isn't it? So that what you are doing is you are taking proper containers to pack, you are taking cooler trucks to bring it to the supermarket, or else storage places you are buying. So these things should be done to improve, no, isn't it? Do you agree? So those are the post-harvest technologies. You know, sometimes of the year some harvest is available in higher amount. Let's say jackfruit. Jackfruit is available in particular time of the year. Other times of the year you can't find it out even. So what you are doing is you are taking them and you are using different methods to keep them for longer time period. Drying, canning, so many things can be done in order to keep the commodity for the next until the next harvest. So that is also included to post-harvest technologies, meaning that after the harvest, what are the things, what are the ways that we can use in order to improve the quality of it and to keep it without damaging. Understood now? Hurry. We are going to the definition of sustainable food production. I'm going to read the definition here. Production of I'm reading, not writing. Production of sufficient amounts of food. Production of sufficient amounts of food for the human population. For the human population using environmentally safe methods. Using environmentally safe methods. Can you go to sufficient amounts? I won't put you to put a bracket and write at that place. Quality wise and quantity wise. I'll tell you the meaning of that in a while. Quality wise and quantity wise. That means if you are thinking to increase the food production, you are making bulk quantities that would not be enough if they are not having nutritional value, right? So for the future generation, you should produce enough food, but they should be good in quality also. Understood now? Hari, that is there. Hari, understood that one? Hari, I want you to write the answer for the next question quickly. I'm giving a little break to you guys. I'll be back in 15 to 20 minutes, okay? Okay, children, we are back with the lesson. So we discussed about sustainable food production. Now I think you have a big idea about that one, right? I told that there are university courses related to food technology and food science, right? So those people are learning about these methods. Even biology is also learning about these things, right? So you can do many things than what you think if you are going in these areas also. Like future, the demand for food is really high, so that you will be having so many job opportunities, right? Never ending job opportunities in those areas, right? So you are you may be animal breeder, plant breeder who is creating these stuff, and you may be creating these disease resistant and those and harsh environmental condition resistant plant varieties, animal varieties, and you may be developing more and more post-harvest technologies to protect the harvest. Nowadays in Sri Lanka also they are using a lot, no, isn't it? They are using, like cargills and all that. Have you seen they are using cooler trucks? They have specially designed trucks for that, and they are not bringing the things in usual gunny bags. Now they have containers, plastic containers. Have you seen? Right? So that Sri Lanka is trying to develop, but still, like when you go to these those centers that which are having vegetables and all that, dabul and all that, those are just bringing in the normal gunny bags, and these landmasters, lot of harvest is wasted sometimes because of those things, right? So we can actually go for reduction of these post harvest losses. If we are targeting on that, we can earn a lot as a country. But unfortunately, many things are not there in our country. The people are suffering after the harvest. There's not, like some. You may have heard that some farmers are having different issues in selling their harvest also. Sometimes, there are so many intermediates. They are not giving the proper value for the food that they produce, isn't it? So that is big problem nowadays. Right. So we are moving back to the next part of the lesson. Mm, then we have to discuss about understanding plant life. So this is also related with what we discussed here also. This is about studying about plants. What do you think? What's the importance of studying about plants? You may think that animals are important. We should only learn about animals. That's wrong. Plants are important. I told you to plant trees also. So hereafter you will plant trees. At least one per week. Will you do? Come on. You don't like. You don't have a garden. Is it so? But try, okay? At least my miniature scale you can do, like small pot at home, and maintain it, no? Like sometimes it makes you happy when the plant grows, really happy, right? So you can see flowers, you can observe, and it's mind relaxing, and so many things are there if you grow plants, right? I can remember one of my science teachers. She came to the class and she asked who are growing plants. So nobody raised their hand. So I actually raised my hand. So she was very happy and she gave one plant for me to plant at home garden. So it was really nice. I can still remember. So that kind of memories are there. So I was really happy after growing that plant, and I was so proud also. I Oh. Thank you, buddy. Online children, can you tell me from which point you didn't hear? I was talking. Sorry, I didn't know mic was switched off. What was Can you hear me? Can you guys tell me which point you didn't, from which point you didn't hear me? I can explain if you want. ඒක තමයි පපු මං හිතන්නේ මේකත් තමයි ස්විච් ඔෆ් වුණා. කරලා Can you tell me from which point you didn't hear me so that I can explain it again? So sorry, I didn't know that mic is switched off. Right. So next one is understanding diseases and causes. I told that we are learning about different systems in human body, right? So we are learning about different disorders, diseases associated with human body. I'll tell you one example. We are discussing about this, let's say nervous system. Nervous system. We are learning about a disease called schizophrenia. Have you heard about that? Have you watched this movie? Can't you hear it? Three movie. Have you heard about that one? Can you hear me now? Have you watched? Why this scholarly? That one. So what's wrong with that boy? Yeah, hallucinations, no? So that one person comes and tells him to suicide, isn't it? The other person tells good things. So that two people are coming and telling different things. So finally, he killed the dog also, isn't it? So that is schizophrenia, right? So mental hallucinations are there. They are feeling that one person comes and talk to them and directing them for doing certain things, isn't it? Understood? So in those cases, they are, it's really problematic, right? So we are learning about those diseases. So that biology is important in those cases. Let's say you know about someone who is having this particular disease. Now you can explain what's wrong with him, whether it's a condition that you should get medication, isn't it? Right? So you should direct him to a psychiatrist to get further medication, isn't it? So that is one thing. Another example, we'll say Another example, um, I'll go to this one, respiratory system, right? In the respiratory system, we are discussing about a disease called asbestosis. Have you heard about that thing? Yeah. So the people who are working with asbestos related stuff, they are having some issues and problems with the respiratory system because they are inhaling lot of dust particles, isn't it? So when they are inhaling lot of dust particles, they are alveoli try to get like fibrous, right? Meaning that the gaseous exchange is bit low, so that they are having lung issues, right? So that those things also discussed in our lessons, right? So as a biology student, you will get some idea about diseases and disorders. Okay, got it? Hi. By the way, Gayuni, can you tell me from where you missed? Kote, Gayuni, tell me from where you missed so that I can tell it one more time quickly. Is it about plant life? Studying about plant life only I started after the break. Right. So studying about plants, we can learn a lot about plants. As we discussed, so many medicinal components can be extracted from plants. And studying about plant life is important in conserving them. As we discussed, those Crudia salonica was found when we are constructing the highway. So that since they knew about the plant, they save the plant. Otherwise, when they if they don't know anything about that plant will be cut like just other plants. Okay, so that it's important. That's why the certain knowledge is given there in your lessons, especially in your environmental biology lesson. You are talking about these plants, right? Even the animals also, they are also important, right? Each and every individual is important for maintaining the balance of the earth. If you remove one organism from the earth, that will be problematic, right? So I was discussing about diseases. So they have given few diseases as examples. Some dangerous diseases which exist in current world are non-communicable diseases such as cancers, heart disease, diabetes, and chronic renal diseases, and communicable diseases such as dengue, AIDS. What is meant by that? These first disorders, the non-communicable diseases, they are not going from one person to another, right? These are the diseases that are having highest death rates in the world, especially heart attacks, no? So that is nowadays like very big problem. You know about it, right? What are the reasons for these heart attacks and all? Nah, mostly our food habits, right? Mostly our food habits are causing certain, like certain blood vessels are deposited with fats, cholesterol like fats, low density lipoprotein cholesterol, those are deposited and blocking our arteries. So that it may be blocking one of the arteries which are supplying oxygen rich blood to our heart. So that causes heart attack. So that it's not, the heart is not having enough blood to that region. So that you will get chest pain and then finally heart attack would occur if it is completely blocked. So that is that kind of like, it can be fatal also if it is serious block, right? So those things are there. And then it's talking about cancers. Cancers also nowadays very common, no? If you go to cancer hospital Maharagama, it's like, very poor people are there. So many like little children also, they are suffering from so many cancers. Different types are there. You may have not seen these people. I have been there several times. So many individuals are suffering and coming from different parts of the country to get medicine at Maharagama, right? So that is the only main place, not only that, main place that we have to get cure for cancers now. So that many people are treated in that hospital, right? So what do you think, what's the reason for this one? Cancers? Maybe smoking, but more than that, nowadays it's again food habits, right? Like even if we believe it or not, our food habits are not that good. Sometimes we get instant food a lot, and sometimes The radiation and all that which are coming from these telephones and those TV and radio, those radiation also sometimes may causing bad impact. I don't know exact reason, but compared to the previous time, nowadays the cancers are very common, no, isn't it? Maybe that may be the reason. Okay, all right. So some cancers are curable, no, you know it, right? Some cancers are uncurable. Majority are uncurable ones. It says causes for this is not fully understood yet. Cancers are one of the leading causes of death, right? So many people are dying because of cancers. You know, like some cancers are coming from genetics also. I told that day about epigenetics. I told, remember? Yeah. So in the genes, they sometimes having like information about cancers. I told that one lady called Angelina Jolie removed one of her breasts because she checked her genome and she checked and found out that she is also having the breast cancer causing gene in her genes. So what she did was she removed one of her breasts to prevent from as a precaution. Huh? It's normal thing nowadays. They are cutting and removing. It's normal, no Putte, that transgender people also they are removing their breasts. Nowadays in Sri Lanka also there are a lot of surgeries. Right? It's not a big deal. It's like muscles and all that, no, so that is not affecting to the other organs. Not a big issue, right? If you're doing it properly, that's fine. Okay? Right? So it's the precaution. It's the precaution for breast cancer that she took because she knew that in the genes from the family history she might be having. So she checked. So she is also having that particular gene. So she removed one of her breasts. But remember, not every cancer is coming from genes. Sometimes, you know, from radiation and all that, that may be an instant mutation that happen. You know, like skin cancers are all that coming because of UV radiation. They say so, ne? And also sometimes because of smoking also lung cancers occur. It's also induced mutation, right? Okay, those things can happen. Then it's talking about AIDS. Have you heard about AIDS? Are we having a cure for AIDS? There's no cure, but nowadays they have found out methods to control. There are drugs, okay? But we can't make a exact medicine for AIDS. It's an RNA virus, right? So RNA viruses are rapidly mutating, they are changing their genes. So that dengue, corona, this AIDS kind of disorders cannot have target medicine because they are changing. Dengue also, if you make one medicine, next time you can't use it because it's changing rapidly. Okay. Only here, you know, dengue, that they are just measuring the volume that you drink and the volume which come out, and fluid balance only they are doing. There's no treatment yet. Okay. AIDS, they have found out certain drugs that you can control, but what I guess is it's not deadly now. But usually the AIDS people die not because of the disease, not because of the virus. Their immunity is low now, no? Because of diseases such as tuberculosis, maybe any other cancer or something. They are dying because of those things. Okay. Next one, heart diseases. This is also a serious and growing health problem worldwide. Nowadays, did you hear that some people are like my age people also dying because of heart attacks? No, it's now very frequent. Okay, don't know why. Some says that it's something wrong with the corona vaccine also, but I'm not agree with that. I don't know what the reality is. Okay, next one. Uh, Chronic renal disease. Have you heard that in Sri Lanka? Some areas, which areas this is common? Which kind of areas? Which kind of areas? Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, those central province areas mostly having this disorder. CKDU is the disease, right? Chronic kidney disease with unknown etiology. What is meant by unknown etiology? The cause is not understood yet, right? So some says different things. Some says it's because of ions, the heavy metals which are present in their soil or the water, right? Some says it's because of the fertilizers that they use in their agricultural lands. And also at the same time, some are telling it's because of gods, right? That was also their early time, right? If you know that about, it was very popular when we are doing A levels. So there's some say so also, right? One of the professor died recently also said that this is because of one of the god. Okay, I don't know why they are telling like that. Next one, uh, yeah. In Sri Lanka recently, CKDU has become a serious health problem. Even small children are also getting this one. Don't know the reason. Okay, why? But it's very problematic, you know. Can we live without kidney? What is the solution if the kidneys are not working? Dialysis is one thing, but still if it is not working, you have to transplant. But you know, it's very difficult to find out a donor, matching donor. You know, our body doesn't like everything now, so that you have to find out a matching donor, right? Matching donor according to your blood type, and it may be good if you are getting from one of your relatives. Likewise, those things are there. There's a higher chance of rejection than taking it in. So if a transplant is done, if it is rejected from the body, that is no use now. So that it's very very problematic, right? It's not easy, right? So people should like to give it also, no? Even if we have to, we don't like to give, no, sometimes. Okay, isn't it? All right. So next one, currently scientists are working on prevention, remedial measures and cures for such diseases. So one day, if you become a scientist, you also finding out solutions for these issues that we discussed, no? Isn't it? Hare, the last one, solving some legal and ethical issues. That day I told about Saya's story, no? What did I tell about Saya's story? Saya was raped and murdered. And then there were few suspects. Kondya was arrested because of that. So that they took samples. What kind of samples? Semen samples, maybe the parts of nails and all that, because of scratching and all that, that the girl may be having some parts of the criminal. So they are taking them and extracting DNA, and they are running DNA gel. That is DNA fingerprinting. The technology is DNA fingerprinting. So they checked the samples. Finally, they found out that it's not Kondya who has done this. Kondya's brother was the one who has done the thing, murder. Right? Okay. So that ethical issue solving, the scientists are the ones who are doing. Nobody from commerce stream can do this thing. Nobody from math stream can do this thing. Only biological science stream students can do these things, right? So those all are hired to the institutes such as Gene Tech in Sri Lanka. The well famous one is Gene Tech. Gene Tech is having scientists who are doing these things. They are extracting DNA, they are analyzing. It's very common nowadays. Those fathers, the paternity testing and other legal issues are sorted in this manner. Okay. It says that knowledge and application of biological concepts is important in solving some legal issues such as parentage testing in criminal investigations and solve immigration disputes. What is meant by that? Some problems associated with immigration problems. Okay, so that those also be sorted, right? Right. Next one, DNA fingerprinting is used for above circumstances. Right. Let me check whether we have other questions to do. Right. Then we have to go for the characteristics of living organisms, right? Since we have time, I'll be quickly going to the characteristics of living organism. Firstly, I'll tell and then I'll explain one by one, little by little, right? Right. Number one is Order and organization. Order and organization. I'll explain this one. Number 2 is metabolism. You learn about the living organisms characters in grade 6 onwards, right? You learn that they are respiring, metabolic activities are there, reproduction is done, small things you learn. So here we are learning a few characteristics. You will understand that all these characteristics should be present in one particular organism to be considered as a living organism, right? Some of these can be present in non-living organisms or non-living things also, but not everything. Okay. Hi. Then number 3 is growth and development. Number 4, irritability and coordination. Hi. Number 5, adaptation. Number 6, reproduction. Number 7, heredity and evolution. Hi. We are going to write this down, these 7 points. I'm going to allow you to study this now itself, and I'll be asking. I didn't explain anything, so don't worry about that part. I'll explain one by one later. But for the moment, what I want is you have to remember all 7 points now itself. This is the heart of the lesson. Only this you have to remember in this lesson. Okay? Hurry. Study now. First, I'll go to the online students. Did you study? Can you have a comment here? Did you study those 7 points? Hi, I'll be going to one by one. Do you already? Hari, start from Shalini. Shiny. Oh, Shalini. Shyly. Oh. Hari. Okay. I'll tell you. Good. Your name is Sumeha. Okay, Sumeha. I'm sorry, I'm very bad at pronunciation. Okay, you tell, will you? Yeah. Hmm. Very good. Again, name. Rashida. Tell. Evolution. Good. You. Very good. Right. So I'm getting back to online students. Is it possible for you to turn on the mic? Can I know whether you can turn on the mic? I think it's not allowed. Ne? Hi. Can you all quickly type all 7 points and put it into the chat? I'll be waiting. Right. So we studied all 7 features that should be there in a living organism. As I told you, some non-living things also having 1 or 2 of these. But the thing is, everything should be present in order to consider a particular organism as a living one. Understood now? Hurry. I'm getting to the first point, right? I'm teaching it quickly. Order and organization. Let's say, think about your school. Your school is having particular organization. What's the organization? Starting from principal, vice principal, sectional head, teachers, students. So if the student goes and tries to do principal's work, what will happen? What will happen? It will be a big mess, no? Isn't it? So there's a particular organization and they have given particular work, isn't it? They have assigned work. Why is that? Yeah, that's the correct word. To do the work efficiently in the school, that everyone is given a particular task. When that task is done properly, only the school work is running smoothly. Likewise, in the life also, there is a particular organization. If this organization was not there, the many activities would not be possible, isn't it? Right. So, organizational levels of life. What is the basic structural and functional unit of life? Cell. So starting from cells, cells are getting together to form tissues. Tissues are getting together to form organs. Then organs are forming organ systems. Yes. Then organ systems are forming organism. Organism are getting together to form a population. Population is producing community. Then communities are getting together to form ecosystems. Then ecosystems are producing biosphere. This organization is there so that in the living world, the things are happening in the efficient manner. This is common to non-living ones also. You know about subatomic particles, isn't it? Subatomic particles are getting together to form atoms. Atoms are producing Molecules. Molecules are producing cells. So this is also important. Inside the cell also there's a particular organization. Particular tasks is assigned to particular organelle. Let's say the mitochondria is for what? Yeah, to do cellular respiration and produce energy. And then what do you think of chloroplast? Chloroplast is for photosynthesis, so that the mitochondria doesn't go and do chloroplast work. The chloroplast doesn't go and do mitochondria's work. They are doing their own work only, so they are now more organized. If this organization was not there, the things, the activities which are happening in a cell would be jumbled. You know, that's a problem. So here order and organization is much more important. Let's go to the questions from that quickly. It's asking what's the significance of order and organization, no? Isn't it? Is that the question? Right. Yeah, what's the significance of having order and organization? I'm giving the answer right there. To do the activities, to do the activities, to do the activities in more efficient manner, by division of labor. To do the activities in more efficient manner by division of labor. Example, mitochondria, cellular respiration. Mitochondria, cellular respiration. Mitochondria, cellular respiration. Chloroplast, chloroplast, photosynthesis. Right. Can everyone come to this chart which is given there in the hierarchical levels of organization in the next pages? Can you all highlight cell to ecosystem? So those are the hierarchical levels of living organisms, right? Living organization of living organisms is that, right? Your book says from molecules, but we are taking from cell to ecosystem as living organism, living organization levels of living organisms, right? Correct? As I told you, I would have finished this lesson within one day, but I am keeping this for the next day also because children are coming yet. Okay, so that I'm waiting for your friends to come. So tell the message to many people. There are a lot of good teachers here. As I told you, I mentioned about chemistry class, which is done by Miss Shanika Atiala, and I mentioned about physics class, which is done by Geetan Kalabarachi, and combined maths done by Sudhira Piris, and biology is done by myself, Tharanga, Anandavansha, right? So tell to more people, right? Rather than going to that area, it's good to stay here and do your work. So you can actually cover two lessons within one day, no, so that you're saving your time also, right? So pass the message and tell them to hurry up and come without being too late, and tell them to watch the recordings if they didn't come to the class. And so we will be continuing from the next day onwards. Hope you learned the lesson well. Did you learn? Right. So study well and come all these 7 points. Next day I'll be taking you to the class after asking these things, otherwise you will be not getting the entry ticket to the class. So everyone should remember from this door I am taking everyone, when you remember this one only, okay? So study well, and we'll see you on next day. Good night everyone. Have a nice day. Bye.